Okay. All right, so now let me open up the exam questions. For this question, I'm going to just do one that that was done for most students, except for few that did alternative questions, alternative exams. So for I think it's just one at this point. Melis, you did, I think you did perfectly, so I think you should be fine. So I'm going to just review the one that that was in the regular class. So let me do take home. All right, you see the questions, right? Yeah. And then, so look at the question, look at the, make sure we always do that, okay? When you get exam or get a homework questions, make sure you follow the instructions, okay? So the question says that take a home, open book, open note portion of the exam. You have that time. So basically you can use a book, use a note, and you may not ask anybody else for help or advice. You may not release any questions to the public or to share them with another person. Violations will avoid your exam result and not automatically fail you for the course. And write your answer clearly and logically in the blank space provided. Multiple or erased answers are not evidence for partial credits. So that means, sometimes we may have students who is trying to different kind of answers, trying to get a partial credits for that. So if you do have that, then you're not going to get a point. So make sure you provide your answers clearly. Okay, so those are pretty much standard instructions. And now look at the questions. Okay, the question also have instructions here. Write a few lines of code. Just remember, just write a few lines of code for each of the following simple job. For each question, declare appropriate variables and assign values based on what is given. And you do not need to use the Visual Studio for this question. Here is a sample question and answer. So suppose you say, assuming your birth date is this. So that means you're given this birth date, right? And then write a code to tell if today is your birth date. So what do you need to do? First of all, you need to declare a variable to hold this result, right? Hold this value. So that's how this first line code is doing that. Data time, birth date, convert to data time, and this is the text, okay? So double quotes around it, and then you convert that to data time, and then you put that into data time. And then since you're going to check whether today is your birth date or not, so you need to get another variable for today's date. So that's the current day and data time now, right? So you have two variables. And now you need to check, say whether today is a birthday or not. The result is going to be like a Boolean yes or no, right? Does that make sense? So you're going to have another variable, say bool is birthday. Okay, so that is a Boolean variable. Okay, so it's just a memory block. You're going to hold true or false in there, in this variable. Okay, and how do we check? So basically we use if else. So we check whether birth month is same as current month and the birth day is same as current day. If both are true, so if both are true, and then this means and, right? And then you say is birth date equals to true. Don't put double quotes around this. You see that? Because there's no double quotes for true, false values. Only thing you have double quotes is text like this. Okay? Put text inside double quotes. For numbers, for like a true, false, you don't put double quotes. Single quote is used for single characters. All right, so this is just give you the format, how you write answers. All right, so now let's take a look at the actual questions. So first, it says you declare the rundown object. So that means you need to create, use a rundown class to create object, and use it to generate a rundown integer between 10 to 50, and store the value in a variable. So therefore, the first thing is clear. You need to declare object, right? So I'm going to do just here. So I say rundown. Okay, and then just say my rundown or my generator, my gen equals to new rundown. So that basically give you the first, the first statement is done, right? You create object, a rundown object, which is my gen. And use it to generate a rundown integer between 10 to 50 and store that into a variable. So the numbers that you want to put in are integers, right? Between 10 to 50 is an integer, right? So you need to declare integer variable. So say integer, say x. Now when you use word type, make sure you check the case. So for this integer, it's supposed to be small letters integer, okay? But for this time, when you have when you do exam, I realize that when you do that inside the word, there's case auto case can actually hurt you. So actually, I did not take any points because of that. So I realized that Microsoft Word sometimes does that. Okay, so make sure you understand that the variable integer, double, all those are small letters. Okay, not unlike a rundown class is like a template, right? Another thing is data time is also object. So object class will start with capital letters. So this is actually a Pascal case. Date time, right? Start with capital for each word, and then you can make connect multiple words into one word. Date time. Okay, so C# and Java programs, and also C. Most I would say most programming languages are case sensitive. Okay, small letters and big letters make differences. So make sure you pay attention to the cases. Okay. So for variable names, you start with small letters first, and then after that, next word will start with capital letter. So this is like a camel case, right? Okay. So we have declared variable x, and now we can put values into x. So that's how we say x equals to what value we put in. So that basically the value we're going to put in is generated by my generator, by my gen. Dot next. Okay, so then I can put say between 10 to 50. So those are minimum and maximum integer values. So this will generate any numbers between 10 to 50 and put into x. There we go. So this is just 3 lines of code, and I give you like 2.5 points. I think it's 2.5 points. Is it? Yeah, 2.5 points each. Okay. Any questions? Don't be shy. If you have anything you don't understand, you should talk to me. You should ask questions. Okay. There's nothing to be shy. It's just is first time learning. Is everything. No question is foolish, and no question is fool. Is all questions are welcomed. Make sense? Now let's look at the second question. So second question, we said declare variable to hold the body weight. Body weight, you understand that is like a number, right? So what kind of number? It's not integer, right? So it should be a double because body weight can have something like a. So if your body weight is 112.5 pounds, then you have 0.5 there. So you declare variable, say double. Okay, say double weight. Again, this is automatically changed to capital, so we need to change it back to double. Okay. So, and then that body weight is entered through a text box called txt weight. So that means you're going to get a value from this text box. So you can say weight is equal to txt weight dot text. So essentially, you are just writing this one line code. You're just writing this one line code. So this is the weight equals to this text box value. That's essentially, okay? However, you understand that this is text, right? And this is double, right? So you need to convert this into double. You always convert right-hand side value into one type that matches the left-hand side. Does it make sense? You can just always remember, just imagine that this is a house, okay? This is a memory block, right? This is a house. And this is somebody, a person, okay? And this person you want to put into this house, okay? So you have to make sure this person matches, the size matches the weight. The size of the person matches the size of the house, okay? So the size is determined by type, right? Data type. So type here is double, and this is text. So they do not match. So therefore, we need to use conversion. Convert to, in this case, we convert to double, right? Because the left-hand side is double, so we convert to double. Does it make sense? That essentially that's what you need to do. So that basically first sentence said declare variable to hold date, body, weight entered through this text box. And then you need to declare a Boolean variable to tell if the body is overweight or not. So you need to have another variable, bool. Okay, that just is overweight. So that basically will get the memory block will get a value, will have values like a true or false only, true or false. Okay, so that's a just say bool. All right, and then you need to decide based on if this weight is over what 200, you say true. So now we do if. Okay, remember the syntax. If after if you have parentheses. And then you have a curly brackets. Okay, just lay out. And then you have, so in this case, we have only two situations, the weight or else, right? So else after else, you do not else, okay? Then you do not have any conditions. So there will be no parentheses around it. So inside the parentheses, you put a condition. The condition to check is if weight is, if this variable, this value, remember now this variable has a value, right? Because you already put a value from text box, and then the text box value is not received by this weight. So now you say if weight is bigger than 200, then you see this, in this case, you see that is overweight equals to true. Is overweight is equals to true. Again, don't put double quotes around the true or false. Right, so here true if the weight is over, otherwise the false. So now we can else is overweight equals to false. There we go. So this is 2.5 questions, and I have a few more lines, not just 3 lines, but pretty much using 4 lines. This is just a 1-line code. Okay. So basically, all this is determining whether is true, is overweight equals to true or false, depending on the weight. Okay. So this is just essentially this is one statement. You understand that? So the statement could be either this one or this one. Okay, does anybody have questions regarding this one? So if you know what variable to declare, how to put the values into variable, then basically this is this question is not that difficult. Then the rest will be just if else, right? Okay, 2.5 points. And then next question, write a code to find the whole number of hours, minutes, seconds in a total of this number of seconds. Okay, so let me move this to the next one, next screen. Okay, so here we are going to, first of all, we need to declare variable to hold this value input. Okay, so that is integer, right? So let's say that's total seconds equals to whatever 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 8, 7, 6, right? And then make sure that is small letter integer. So you have variable to hold the initial result, hold the initial data. So that's what it means. based on what is given, you declare variables hold what is given, initial data. Okay, so I declare variable to hold the initial data. And now we need to find the number of hours, whole number of hours, minutes, seconds. Therefore, I need to declare 3 variables respectively for those. Okay, so let's declare integer, say hour, minute, and a second. Let's just say those 3. So you can declare multiple ones just separated by commas. Okay, because they're all same kinds. All right, so now how do we get hours? That's easy. Just simply this number divided by 36,000 and use whole integer portion. So hour equal to, just say total seconds. So you always use variables instead of actual numbers. Of course, you can plug in numbers, but then you have problem with harder coding. Harder coding is in the sense that the numbers can be changing in the future, right? And if you just copy this number into here, then in the future, if you're going to change this number, then you have to change in many places, right? So it's better just use the variable to represent the numbers you're going to use. Okay, so I'm going to use total number of seconds divided by 3600. All right, so that will give us the total number of hours. That's a quotient only. Okay, the whole division, whole integer divided by integer, the quotient is going to be the number of hours. And then we get the remaining seconds. So let's get remaining seconds. I will, you know what? I can declare another variable for that. So we'll call that as remainder. Okay, remainder. Or we can just use this same total number of seconds, these variables again. Because we do not need this anymore. So instead of that, instead of remainder, well, let me just not confusing those some students. I'm just doing remainder, okay? So let's say I want to get a remainder of this after your division, right? So the remainder, sometimes the difference between computer science and information system is that computer science will have to worry about how you trying to use existing variables instead of creating new ones, because every time when you create a new variable, your computer have to create a memory block for that. So if you have too many memory blocks used, your computer is going to run very slow, right? So I'm going to just say, for the logic purpose, I'm going to say declare variable. And now I'm going to say total seconds. Okay, and then modulo, that means divided by, but I just get a quotient only. So you still divide by 3600, but then you get a remainder only. Get a remainder from this. Okay. Now if you have remainder number of seconds. So for example, if you have like a 5,000 to be, I'm not sure this is what this one. This is a bigger number. Okay. So if I give like if total number of seconds of 5,000 divided by 3600, the quotient should be 1. Okay, the hour should be 1. And then the remainder second should be just 14,000, right? 1400 seconds. So this should give you 1400 seconds. Okay. And now I need to use the 1400 seconds to find out what is total minutes. So to do that, just simply mn equals to remainder, and then divided by 60. Okay. And then after that, the remainder of this division will be just remaining seconds. So we can just say S will be seconds will be equals to, let me put this okay. Seconds will be equals to remainder percentage sign 60. Okay. So if you put all this into like use real numbers, and I bet you it's not that difficult a math problem, right? But sometimes it's just now you have to think in terms of variables. Okay, so just say I'm using variables for calculations, not use actual numbers for calculations. Okay, so I think we did this in second week maybe. Okay, but now this is kind of review again, and hopefully it's give you some kind of opportunity to see what variables to declare, and you may also declare new variables along the way. right? And understand integer divided by integer, and you get a whole the quotient only, and then remainder is done by this percentage sign. Is called a modulo operation. Okay. Finally, write a code to find the maximum of two numbers stored in XY variables. Okay, so that means this so basically there's two numbers, right? Two numbers. This x could be double or could be integer. So for that one, it's not clear. So we can use either double or integer. It really does not matter. Okay, so let's just say double. Okay, and then assuming that x and y already have values, so you can just say x equals to something. Let's say x equals 100 whatever, and y equals to 200 whatever. Okay, so assuming this is assumption. Okay, assume given values. Okay, so assuming that you already have those numbers, otherwise you cannot do xy use xy for calculations, right? So now we need to find the maximum of these two. So what we do is we need to declare a variable called max as a result, right? So if the x, y are double, then this maximum must be double, right? So now we decide if x is greater than y, okay, x is greater than y, let's just curly brackets, else, you can also do if, okay, else if x is less than y, okay, and then curly brackets, and finally else curly brackets. So this time we have three situations. First situation, if x greater than y, then in this case max will be equal to the small letter max will be equal to x. That is clear, right? And the second case, max will be equal to y because y is bigger than x, right? But what about third case? What is the third case? Third case if they are equal, right? Third case if they are equal. So in that case, you can say x max equals to either x or y, does not matter. Okay, so because they are all equal. Okay, so there's really no max. Okay, so the maximum of these two would be same as either x or y, does not matter. Does it make sense? So now this time we have basically one statement. That one statement is either this one or this one or this one, determined by these three, but this is depending on whether it's x greater than y or not. Okay, and then this statement will be chosen. So this is selective comments, selective statements. Okay, so basically either this one or this one or this one to be used after double x. So this x, so you declare the variable max, but the value to be put in depends on whether x is greater than y or not. If x is greater than y, you put x into it. If x is less than y, you put y into it. Does it make sense? So this is the fourth question. All right. Any questions about this write up? Okay. If not, I'm going to go to hands-on questions. Okay. So for that, let me just create a new project. Create a new. So let's just say this is going to be Windows Form again. So you go into Windows Form and then go to next. Let me, you know what? Let me switch to another screen. Okay, so share screen 1. Okay, so you see my second screen here. So I'm going to create a new project and press next. Okay, so let's just say this is exam 1. And then we're going to put on the desktop. Glad that this time nobody submit, or everybody submit whole project. Nobody submit just 1 or 2 files. Okay, so then press create button. All right, so now we have this form created. And now let me put these questions on this same screen also. So this question, let me read. So here, let's read the question here, okay? Follow the instructions. This is hands-on question. You need to use the Visual Studio to complete it. Create one project for all the sub questions. After you finish, archive all the files and submit a zip file to ecourse.org. It's not .com. And then make sure to download it back to see if it is submitted correctly. Partial credits may be awarded for non-working commented code. Okay, so that gives you direction that in case you have code problems. Let me just try to make this bigger font. In case you have a code is not running, but you can just comment it out, and then I will take a look at your code to see whether you get close. All right. So first, you create a new form and put a label on the top of the form to show welcome test center, and then create a code at the appropriate place so that the program will show a message box goodbye when you close the form. Okay, so this is just basically just create a label and a message box. Okay, so I'm going to go to toolbox. Hold on. Toolbox. And then label. And then for the label, I am going to just create a text. Say this is welcome to C# test center. Okay, that is just text, and we can also give a name. So let's just say this is LBL welcome. Okay. All right, so that is done. And then the second part is also to do what? Create a code at appropriate place. The program will show message box goodbye. So where do we, when the form closing? So that means the event should be attached to the form closing. So first of all, select the form, and you go to the event. You find the event. Okay, so event is here. You see, and then you say form load, form closing. Where is the form closing? So form closing is here, right here, okay? So put a code behind form closing. Okay, so what is form, what is code? Just a message box. So that is pretty simple one. So message box show, okay. And then inside that must be text. How can you tell? If you put a parenthesis on it, it will tell you what kind of things inside is text. The string is text, right? So I need to put inside double quotes text. So I say goodbye. Okay, and then don't forget semicolon. So that's it. That's the 5 points. Okay. And now let's do the second part. Write a code so that the above label change the red color when it mouse over it, but then change the color back when the mouse is out. So now this is just trying to find the right event to do it. Okay, the code is not that difficult. So basically, when I mouse over this label, I change this the color to the font color to red. Otherwise, change it back to black. Right. So let's find the event. So let's say if I select the label, and then let's look at mouse over. Mouse enter, mouse hover. Okay, let's say mouse enter maybe, right? So when mouse enter, mouse leave. Okay, so when mouse over, I'm going to change the label LBL welcome message that full color equals to, so you change the full color to red color, so color dot red. So that's how you specify different colors. There's a color dot red. So this is enumeration. Okay, enumeration. Basically, just use this color class and then say dot red, dot blue, dot whatever, get different colors. So this is the one line code. And then the next thing is I want to change this back if mouse leaf. So select this one again, and now find a mouse leaf one. Mouse leaf. Where's mouse leaf? Mouse leaf here. Okay, so when I do mouse leaf here, I will change back. So it's just same kind of a code. So LPL, welcome, full color. Okay, equals to color add black. Okay, so change back to black color. Okay, that's just 2 lines of code, give you 5 points. Okay, the point is you need to find out which event you need to put the code. So you probably feel that these 2 are easy, right? So I hope this is easy. I think that's one of the homework question also. Okay, so the next part is let's go to the next part. Question number 3. It says create 4 text boxes, price, quantity, and amount, which represent the unit price, order quantity, and the total amount of the order respectively. And create a command button so that when the button is pressed, txt amount will show the total amount. Okay, for students who still have trouble understanding how to interact with controls, with variables, between variables and controls, pay attention, listen carefully, okay? So I'm going to just start from scratch. So I'm going to create text boxes first. The idea is if you use other controls, the idea is the same. But just text box is just simpler to use. So let's just say text boxes. So I'm going to create this one. Let's say this is for price. So I'm going to say that is txt price. Let me do that. Okay, so let's say that is txt price. Okay, the first one. And ideally, you should put like a label in front of it, so that's price. Right, so let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to do that as a text is price. Layout nicely. This is called a prototyping. Even though some of you may not be doing development, but most of the time, if you do like a system analyst, you might need to do this prototyping job, just designing forms, designing reports for programmers. Okay, next, let's do for quantity. Let's give a name, call that txt quantity, QTY. Okay, and then also put a label in front of it. Okay, so the label, and just change the text. That is quantity. Okay, and then let's do another box for amount. Okay. Trying to lay out nicely. Okay, and then let's call that txt amount. MT. So you're going to use the 3 boxes for calculation. And I think there's one more box that is not used for this question. And then this for that, I'm going to say amount, total amount. Okay. Okay. And there we go. We have a boxes, and now we are ready to put the code. So first of all, let's put a button around it. Put a button for calculation. We'll put it here. So let's just say the button, give a name, and also give a text. All right. So let's say name is ETN compute, and then the text is the label is compute. Okay, so for this question, the code is clear, so we're going to put a button click event. So select the button, and then you find the event, or you can just simply double click on this button because it's default event. So it's the button click, right? So first of all, we need to have variables to receive data from the form, right? The form has 3 boxes, and we have a price, quantity. So they should be double, right? So have a double price. Okay, quantity. So if you say quantity is integer, that's fine too. Okay, and then let's say also amount. So we need to have data for the 3 boxes, right? So we'll declare 3 variables. Now, what will be given? We are given price and the quantity, and then we compute amount, right? So now we say price will be getting data from txt price dot text. Okay. And then quantity will be getting data from the txt quantity. So essentially, you're just writing code like that. So you're going to put data from the form controls into the price, into the variables. It's as simple as that, right? And then, of course, you need to convert, right? So this is text. You need to convert to like a type for price, which is double. So you need to convert to double. Convert to double. Okay. And do the same thing for quantity to double. So it does not matter what is the right-hand side type. You always want to convert to the type that is on the left-hand side. Okay. All right. So after that, we are ready to compute amount. So just say amount will be equal to price multiplied by quantity, right? So you are business students, and you should know how to calculate this simple math, right? So just price multiplied by quantity, you get amount. Okay, and now we have the amount, so we just need to show the amount into another text box. Or which text box? The amount text box. So to do that, we just do opposite. We say txt amount dot text equals to amount. You see the direction difference? So here we are putting data from text box into variables. Now we are doing opposite. We put data into text box. Okay. So again, you still need to do conversion because this is right. Left-hand side is a number. Right side is number, but left-hand side is text. So we need to convert to text. Okay. Always convert to the left-hand side type. Convert to string. There we go. So this is the third part 3. So basically just involving how to declare variables, how to put values into the variables, and how to report the values. So this is report the values. Okay. So everything just as simple as that. It's not that difficult. Okay. Just make sure that you have the right mindset. Say you can do it. You can do it. If you think that the coding is difficult, you just give up, and then you form a bad habit in your mind that whenever you write a code, you get scared. Okay. Now last part, continue that, and you create text box called txt old date. So that might be the first text box, and it shows the current time as order date, and then label to show the total amount after discount. And this is how the discount will be computed. Any order made during the weekdays will be given 10% discount. Okay, so let's create text boxes first. Okay, so let's do text box again. All right, so now let's give a name for that. Let's just say this is auto date, txt auto date. Okay, and then we can also put a label in front of it. So let's just say this is auto date. Okay. And then we also need to put a label to show the total amount. So I'm going to just create a label, regular label, somewhere here maybe. Okay. Or maybe here, does not matter. And then for the label, I will give a name. So let's say LPL total. And then the text is total after discount. Okay, like that. Okay, so I'm going to show, first of all, this one, I'm going to show the current date time. So how do we do that? I will just put that when the form starts up, or maybe this button click, either way. Okay, so I'm going to put a form. So if I put a code behind the form node, so select the form first and then find event form node right here. Okay, and here I'm going to just put declare trying to get a current data time, right? So I'm going to say data time, and then say current date is equal to data time done now. Okay, so then I just need to put a date into the text box, which is txt old date text equals to say date. So you have a date in the variable, and now you put a variable value into the text box. And of course, here you need to do conversion. Okay, so convert to string, because left-hand side is string, right? So you need to convert this data time into string. So there you go. So this is the code to calculate the data time. All right. So now let's say if I going back to this form again, if I press this button, I need to show what is total. What is total here? Okay. So I have total amount, and then I need to decide a discount. Okay. So for that, I need to find out the weekdays. Okay. So let's do that again. So let's go to compute. After that, I'm going to find what is today's date. Today is the weekday, whether today is Saturday or Sunday, right? So I'm going to do data time, and then say date again, say date, and that is data time dot now. Okay. All right, and then we'll do weekdays. So then we say whether today is weekday or not. So we say if. Okay. So hold on, let me see this. This will give you, now let's say dot. Okay, let's say weekday. Weekday. You see weekday, day of week actually. Day of week. Day of week. So if you get a day of week, what kind of data is this? What kind of data is day of week? So if day of week, let me just get day of week as text. Okay. So let's just say this is. Let me do that second step. Okay. Let's do this here first, and then we string week day. So I need to run. I'm running out of time, right? You know what? I'm running out of time. So let me stop here. So basically, I need to just write that, say get a weekday. Let me just do that quickly. On the weekday, a week, and then we'll say that will be equal to say date dot week, day week, and then to string. So we need to convert that to string. This is string, string. Okay. And then we need to convert that to string. To string. To text. Okay. Okay. So after that, we will say like this. So if weekday is equal to Saturday or Sunday, this is how we all. Okay, you can use else if, okay, or weekday equals to Sunday. Okay, then we can say discount equal to 0, so we can declare a variable discount, so double discount equal to 0. So in that case, discount equal to 0. Discount equal to 0. Else, discount equals to 0.1. Okay, and then we can find the total amount again. So the total amount, original amount, will be equal to amount multiplied by 1 minus discount. Okay, and then we show that into the text, into the label, LBL label, total dot text, and then we say that is amount. Okay, so I rushed in the last part, just because we are running out of time. So basically, you know, from data time, you can get the day of week, and then you can say if it's a Saturday or Sunday, then discount is 0. Otherwise, discount is 0.1, and then you calculate the amount again. Of course, you can declare another variable called amount after discount, but here I'm using existing variable amount, and then to change that. And of course, you need to change this to string, convert to string. Okay, and that's it. That's all we this whole exam. This 5 points. So last 5 points is a little bit more involved how to determine the discount. Okay, so this might be considered as like a differentiation questions for some students. All right, so let me say sorry I overused 4 minutes. No, hold on. What time is it? Why do I thought it was overused? It's 6:24, right? So I'm fine actually. Fine. I do not overuse your time. So I'm still like have 6 minutes. I thought I looked at time wrong. So I still have 6 minutes. Sorry for that. I think this is it, and this is the 5 points. Okay, so the last 5 points basically we show that data time into the text box, and also use that your weekday to get like to get the weekday as text. So declare another variable to hold that whether the day is Sunday or Monday or whatever. So some people did more have a more if else. So if we say weekday equals to Monday, to what? Monday, Tuesday, to what? You can do that, but it's a little bit more involved. Write a little more lines, few more lines of code. Here I just do the simple. Say if it's Saturday, Sunday, then you do this. Or you can also do all some. Let me just do this. Okay, just say in case some students say, what if I do multiple ones? So you can do that. Let's say if that, else if weekday is equal to Sunday, then I will also make a discount equal to 0. And then only else, for all other cases, else, then you say discount is equal to 0.1. So you can write if else, okay, like that. Or you can just do Monday, Tuesday separately. So just either way. And after that, you know how to calculate the amount, okay? just 1 divided minus discount multiply the new amount, and then you show that. So if you want to show also not just the number but also the original text, you can just do this. You can say LBL total of text plus this number. Okay, so that means that will show. Let me show you what we'll be doing that. So in that case, so for example, if I do price equals 19.95, 98, and the amount is, let's just $250, and then we press compute, and then you get a total amount, and also there's weekdays, and then you see the labels is that label the total amount after due is this one, after discount is this. Okay, so it shows that not just a number, but also kind of like a prefix text along with it. Okay, so this is the answer to your multiple choice to your hands-on questions. Let me stop and see whether you have any questions. Let me stop recording for now.